Alright, let's get started. Second video for mine, Nitesh.blogspot.com. Nitesh here. Of course, who else would it be? Let's get started with UFC on versus. You had Dominic Cruz defending his bantamweight title against Demetrius Johnson. Cruz dictated, controlled that fight. Johnson, very good showing, but just not good enough. Cruz retains. Not surprised. I felt that was going to happen. But the bigger news of the night for me was UFC working hard to get Gilbert Melendez, who is the Strikeforce lightweight champion, bring him over to the UFC and have him fight in the UFC lightweight division. That's already a stacked division, and getting a fighter at the caliber of Melendez, it's going to make the division so much better, and yet it might be a while before Melendez is in the title picture. A lot of people are expecting a title unification bout, a lot of people hoping for it, but if it doesn't, Melendez is still, would still be excited about it. He tweeted out after the news broke that the opportunity would be awesome, and you know what, Melendez, you're right. It would be awesome to see you in the UFC. I hope it happens, and it'll be cool to see it happen. And well, only time will tell when it's going to, but when is the question. Okay, Ultimate Fighter Season 14, Episode 3. Another good episode. Team Bisping trash talking, prank pulling, training for fights. You can't really tell because after the first two fights, they were 0-2. Team Miller, focused, loose, ready to fight, ready to train, and they're 2-0. So, sorry, Michael, but Jason Mayhem seems like the better coach right now. As far as the best parts of the episode, for the fight announcement, watching Josh Ferguson come up, ready to go, a little short, a little bantamweight, just ready to fight, ready to go, and he pulls out a note card that says "F you Bedford," because I guess they knew that he was gonna get picked. If you're gonna do something like that, make sure you're able to back it up inside the octagon. And you know what? He wasn't. Team Bisping just doesn't seem prepared. It doesn't seem like they're willing to really learn, willing to fight. It's going to be interesting to see what happens for the rest of the season. I expect Bisping to get at least 1 or 2 wins out of this season, but Team Miller just looks like a bunch of strong fighters, a very, very strong group. I say strong group, but yeah, follow up with this. There's a mole on Team Miller. We know who it is as fans, and I'm sure they all know now, but at the moment they don't know. So it's going to be interesting to see how that story plays out in next week's episode and for future episodes. Going from guys that are trying to get into the UFC to guys that are already into the UFC. UFC 136, best card of the year so far on paper. Because you can say a fight's great, a card is great, but once it happens, you can say it's crap or it's good. So we'll see where this one falls. I expect it to be a very, very good card. Hopefully it doesn't turn to crap. 2 title fights, and you have Frankie Edgar going against Gray Maynard for the 3rd time. You have Jose Aldo going against Kenny Florian for the lightweight title. You have Chael Sonnen going against Brian Stann. Melvin Gillard versus Joe Lauzon. 4 strong fights, a lot of strong fighters. I expect Sonnen and Stann to be a very strong middleweight fight. Sonnen wins, don't be surprised to see him as the #1 contender for Anderson Silva's middleweight championship. If Stan wins, look for him. I really expect if Stan wins to either get pushed right into the title fight, or he will face the winner of Mark Munoz and Chris Lieben, and the winner of that would be the new #1 contender. I hope Sonnen wins because I would love to see Sonnen versus Silva one more time, and this time hopefully see Sonnen fight full 5 rounds or just finish it. I'm not tired of Anderson Silva. I think Anderson Silva is the best middleweight ever, and I feel like he will win no matter who's put in front of him. But if you want to give him a strong competition, strong competitor, give him Sonnen. That's the best case scenario for fight fans, and I hope it happens. The featherweight title fight, Aldo versus Florian. That one's up in the air. Florian is a strong fighter. He's dropped weight class to come into this title fight. He's one of the best at what he does. He's strong. He's a strong wrestler, a strong grappler. He's gotten better at his ground game. And I expect that if it goes down to the ground, he's going to be a challenge for Aldo. But Aldo, to me, is one of the stronger featherweights there is. And I expect Aldo to win. Maybe not quickly, but maybe most likely a decision win. But I wouldn't be surprised if Aldo does pull off a submission or a KO and ends the fight early, but no earlier than the third round. I don't see this fight getting finished in the first 2 rounds. Maybe in the third or fourth it gets finished, but most likely I see it going the distance. An exciting card because the featherweights and bantamweights are exciting fighters, but nonetheless, it might go to distance, and that's what I'm expecting to see. Edgar Maynard 3. This one, to me, no decision. It can't go to decision because the last time it did go to decision, it was a very questionable outcome for Maynard. I felt like he had won the second time they fought, but the judges saw otherwise. That's why I'm over here and they're judging a fight. Maynard, I feel Maynard's going to come out early, come out quick, and try to end the fight within the first 2 or 3 rounds. Wouldn't be surprised if that happens. Don't expect it to happen. I pretty much expect Frankie Edgar to go maybe into the 4th or 5th round, and either make sure to just push the tempo and try to get the early 3 rounds, and then just lay it out for the next 2 and just protect it. But if that does happen, watch out for Maynard because he might catch him. It's gonna be an interesting fight, and I'm gonna say right now I'm gonna go with Gray Maynard to end the fight in the 4th round. KO, submission, doesn't matter. He's gonna end in the 4th round in my opinion. But we'll see what happens. If it doesn't happen, you guys are more than welcome to come to me and say you were wrong. That's fine by me. I'm not really worried by it. Okay. Big news on Thursday. UFC main event. Dana White took to Twitter to announce this fight. A lot of people were hoping that it was going to be John Jones versus Rashad Evans for the light heavyweight title, and it was reported that was going to happen, but a couple of reporters reported incorrectly. Evans has pins in his hands, can't fight for a while, so Jones will be fighting, but he will be fighting against Lyoto Machida. And that fight, honestly, I don't think it matters who you put in front of John Jones. He's too tall. He has a great reach advantage, quick, size, power. He has every trait you could ask for in a champion. He has them. He's the future UFC. There's not really anyone that could stand toe-to-toe with him. So I think Machida is just a stepping stone until he gets to Evans, and that's the fight everyone wants to see, and it's gonna happen. It's just a matter of when. But I mean, UFC 140 is going to be a crazy December. It's going to be a crazy final 3 months of the year for MMA, and I'm excited to see it. I know you're excited to see it. So any news that happens, I'm going to be talking about it either on the blog, either through video or writing it out. So keep it up, keep watching, keep following, keep reading, and follow me on Twitter at Nitesh. So I will see you guys next week. Hopefully the videos keep getting better. So stick around and don't miss out. All right.